Hi guys, I didn't think I was going to make a video right now. I have been working all day and I'm tired, and I wanted to do this video when I looked halfway decent, but I just don't care. Honestly, I don't care. The only thing that's important to me is doing what God wants me to do. So anyway, I wanted to try to make this quick. You don't know who I am, and I am just now starting to tell my dreams that I've had all my life as a little girl. And I've had visions. I've been to heaven, I've been to hell. And there's a lot of things that I have seen, and I've kept it all in, and I think now is the best time. So quickly, I'm going to try to tell you one dream that I had. And this dream was before Trump became president. It was 6 or 7 months before he became president, and I didn't care. I didn't care who was going to be president. I wasn't interested. I actually had just rededicated my life to Christ, and I was still in that stage of the sins in my life were, I don't know, we're coming to the surface, and I was praying to become a better person because I knew God all my life, but I didn't know him until recently. So I fell asleep and I had this dream. I was standing on a big military ship. I was on the bottom floor. I don't know what it's called when you're on the bottom floor of a ship. This ship was black, and this ship was very clean. And the bottom floor, I had this black military outfit on. I don't even know what it looked like. And I had a hat on. It was almost like it was a little big on me, like I was possibly wearing somebody's, I don't know. But on the bottom floor was, rows and rows and rows of what I now have found out this year were supercomputers. Now, in my dream back then, I had no clue what they were, so it took me this many years to figure out what these things were in my dream, because this dream is like I just had it yesterday and I didn't. So they were these supercomputers that when you go online and you type in supercomputer, they were very tall, they were black, and they just have switches and some wires and these little blue lights. And my job was to make sure they were running. I remember thinking in my dream, I do not know what I'm doing. I have no clue what to do with this stuff. There was no buttons to push. There was no screen to look at. So I remember somebody was with me. I have no clue who that was. And I remember just touching this supercomputer, and every light in the ship, every bit of the electricity in this ship went off. And I knew I was in trouble. So whoever I was with, we turned to run up these spiral staircases that were to my right. I don't know who it was still at this point. Well, this person ran up and disappeared, and I went to run up. Excuse my phone. I hate that when I'm making a video. And I stopped. I didn't run up. I said to myself, I'm not going to run from this. I'm not going to run. I'm going to stay, and I'm going to take responsibility because I did it. So I'm going to try to figure out how to fix it. So I went back over and stood in front of this computer, this big tall thing, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do. And as I held the wire, I heard the back behind me, the whole side of the ship open up. And I turned around, and the whole side of the ship just opened up. And I saw that obviously we were on the water, but I saw a parking lot with just a few cars. I didn't see any buildings, but I saw grass and a hill. and some trees. The trees were still green, but it was almost as if it was almost fall, because I had that feeling inside of me that I always get every year when it's time for school to start and the fall weather happens, because I love fall. But it wasn't fall yet, and it was warm out, and the sun was shining, and there was nothing else around, no houses. I didn't see any buildings. And then suddenly I heard the trumpet sound. And when it sounded, the alarms went off everywhere. And I saw God's foot slam down right in front of me onto the earth and onto the ocean. And he had a sandal on in my dream, and all I saw was his calf down, and his foot slammed, and he had to be 300 foot tall because his foot was huge, like not just a man foot. This was a foot. This foot was probably the size of my house. And once it slammed on the ground, I knew God was angry. And I knew he was getting ready to do something. And the ship started to get ready to go up in that big wave because his foot started causing a wave. And I remember turning around, and my youngest son was there. He's in his 20s. He was suddenly there. And I said, run to the third floor. Run to the third floor and look at him. Run to the third floor and you can see him. Run to the third floor and look at him, and we'll be okay. And as we both ran up those spiral staircases, I woke up. And once I woke up, I knew that President Trump was going to be president. That's when I knew he was. Well, he ended up being president. But since then, I have not been able to figure out what my dream meant. But now I'm sort of thinking I know what it means. And I'm just now realizing that the rapture could happen this year, before the summer is over with, or right before fall, right before it gets cooler. I don't know. God is getting ready to do something, and he's really going to do it. And I will tell you this one thing too. I've had dreams and visions all my life. Even as a little girl, I had no clue what was going on. I kept them inside. I could feel people's emotions to the point where I did not want to go be around anybody. I didn't have to be around anybody to feel these emotions either, but I thought it was evil what I felt. I thought it was evil that I had these dreams. I thought it was evil that I could look at somebody and tell what was going to happen to them, and I would dream what was going to happen to people, and I wouldn't tell them, and then something would happen and I'd feel horrible. So I started telling people. They thought I was crazy. So I kept it all to myself. And I will tell you about, I've had a few dreams, a lot of dreams in my life. And another dream was years ago in my 20s. I'm 50 years old. In my 20s, I had a dream that I was walking in my town, and right above us was flying government aircraft, and above them was UFOs. And the government was telling us, it's going to be okay. We're going to protect you from these UFOs. But I could feel in my dream that these UFOs were with the government. They had something to do with them, and people were falling for all of it. And back then, I didn't believe in UFOs. I'd had no clue about our government. I trusted our government. So that dream came out of nowhere. And it's making a lot of sense now. So I just wanted to share those two. I hopefully can share some more dreams that I've had. I've been to heaven. I've been to hell. I've talked to Jesus. and I heard God's voice to the point where it hurt, and I had to get on my hands and knees, and I couldn't lift my head up, and I couldn't open my eyes. It was like judgment, but I knew it was God, and even though it was judgment and it sort of hurt my bones or my spirit, because it was just too much for me to hear, I knew that it was just and right, and love. So there's a lot of things that I could tell you, and hopefully I can make another video. And please excuse me, I am not a video maker. I don't really know how to talk to people, and I don't know how to tell my stories. So if anybody has any ideas about the dream I shared, please feel free to tell me what you think, because for years I've been trying to figure it out, but it's just now starting to make sense. My name is Sheree, by the way. My real name is not on my YouTube. It is Sheree, and I'm 50 years old, and it's nice to meet you.